In this lecture, we're going to talk about lightings. Now, lightings is very important because it's what makes your game look good or not. Really, like I'm not kidding. So understand that your game could look like crap, but all of a sudden you add some lighting on it and it's amazing. And by default, the Unity project, whenever you create a new scene like this one, by default you already have some lighting. As you can see, we have some lighting and we even have a shadow. The shadow is right below because it's darker, and the only reason why we have that is because we have lights that comes right there, and this is a directional light. You see it inside of your untitled scene. Now you can select this directional light and go to the inspector in the right side and unselect it. As soon as you unselect it, guess what happens? Well, there is no more light, but somehow we can still see the object because there is always somewhat some light just for the sake of it. Now you can actually remove the light completely by deleting it, and as you can see, not much change. Okay, so you can put it back. It's because when you deactivate it, it's like it's deleted. And the reason why we have some light is because the main camera comes with some of it, and you can actually come here and remove some of the lighting here. So you can go to solid color and you will see that by default you only see some of it. Now you can also remove some field of view and play with the details, but we don't want to go into we don't want to remove the light completely. We still want to be able to see the objects, right? Okay, so go back to the directional light and enable it. Now I'm going to show you that I can select the directional light, and in the inspector it has a transform panel, and this panel is meant to change the light direction. I can just rotate the light, and as I will be rotating the light, it will be rotating the actual shadow as well. You'll see that the light will change. Right now the shadow is on the left side of the object. If I start rotating on the y-axis, check this out. I'm basically, right now it was at -30, and let me put it at 60. Guess what? The light went on the other side. Now you can select and click on the Y, and you see two insets, two arrows, one that goes to the left and one that goes to the right. And this is a simple way to actually move the value left and right. So you can keep moving to the right and that would change the light. You guys see that? Isn't that amazing? It looks like it's moving, right? So you can do the different types of lights and days. Alright, so now let's say you want to also modify the position. You can move the light away to the right or to the left, but not much will happen with the spots because this directional light is always in the same direction. So the only thing that's important is the rotation here. Okay, so remember, the rotation is what makes it go left and right and so on for the shade of the light. Now you can change the actual color of the light. You can select something, maybe just click on the color and choosing something that's maybe more in the blue area, and guess what? All your scene becomes more bluish. You can increase the intensity, which will make it even stronger. So I would advise usually to put an intensity of 1, that's good. And the bounce is how much of the color of this light goes on the shadow. And the more you increase it, the lighter becomes your shadow. As you can see, my shadow is very much blue. But if the bounce intensity is all the way down, my shadow color changes a little bit. Okay, now this does not happen much here because these do not have reflecting materials. I mean that it's not a metal like iron or gold, so you don't see it much. Alright, and you can change the shadow type from soft to hard, and the hard is just like a cutout, or you can have no shadow at all. You can remove the shadow. Now in some cases it's good to have no shadow, but usually the best way to go is with soft shadows. Now, if your game is too slow, that's usually something you want to do, is get rid of the shadows. So you put no shadow and your game will go faster because actually a shadow is expensive performance-wise. Alright, so that's all I wanted to say about the directional lights. Know that you can have multiple ones to give a special effects or a special feel to your game. And you can just click on Game Object, then click on Light, and add a directional light. And this light, now you can change the color to, let's say, a red color and move it around. As you can see, I will have two shadows and two colors. You guys see that? I have a blue and a red one now. Alright, how do I know? Well, I see the blue on this side and I see the red here. Now, what you could do is add the shadow, because this one has no shadows. Add the soft shadow, and you will see actually two shadows. I don't know if you guys see them. We see a blue shadow here and a red shadow on the other side. Now, if you want to make them completely distinct, you can move the rotation, and you will see one shadow on the left and one shadow on the right. Now, real cameras, like real renders from professional movies, usually have at least 3 cameras and 3 special lightings as well. One light that comes from one side, and it's basically 360 lighting. One that comes from a side, one from another side, and one from another side. And that gives a good feeling of real light. But usually, movies use more than 3 lights, but at least 3 lights to make it look good. And I would advise to do the same for your video games. Alright, so that's it for the directional light. Now I'm going to go quickly on the other type of lighting. So I'm going to disable this lighting, and I'm going to go and show you the other lightings in the next lecture.